Oh, cool. Uh-huh. I know that. No, I know that voice. I'm writing it down. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you do voices? What are your voices? That was good. That sounded just like Oh yeah, that's hard on your voice. That sounded like Mickey Mouse to me. Okay, yeah, you're right. No. uh, but for me, the best song is, well, I liked all the hits because I don't really listen to albums. Uh, exactly, exactly, because you had to pay for each of them. But yeah, that's how my boyfriend feels. He likes it because it's like a entire art piece, and he wants to see how the artists put it all together and why they put them in that order. And I guess I just disrespect art or something. But I think Carry On is the one that I like the most when I re-listen to it, because I thought was that, you think, oh, some nights that's the one I'm gonna thinking about the most. But when I was replaying, I was like, oh my gosh, I really like Carry On. Uh-huh. Yeah. I love Vance Joy. Uh-huh. Yeah, he's great. I didn't find out about him until I lived in Australia for a year, and they were really big Vance Joy people. It was so. It is weird. I have to go like across the world to like fall in love with Vance Joy. What was your favorite song on the album? Mhm. No. What? What? So I'm just supposed to see Blink 182 live? Like that's normal? Like I'm a big old Blink fan. I get my Blink on. No, I've never seen Blink 182 live. I like barely like Blink 182. Like out of all of that genre, I was more into like was I like Panic at the Disco, but that was later on. But in that genre, that was probably my favorite. Did you see Blink 182 live? The kerfuffle. No. What's a kerfuffle? I did. I grew up in Carroll County. My parents live, well, they don't live there anymore, but they used to live 15 minutes from McDaniel. Yeah, I was in Manchester, but even more obscure. Oh yeah, that's where my mom's from. Yeah, it's nice. Mhm. Yeah. Did you do your graduate program there? Oh, that's cool. Mhm. Mhm. Ah. Mhm. Okay. That sense. People are getting more polite. I like that. That's cool. So you went to Blink 182 at Merriweather Post Pavilion. I've been there before. Yes, it's good to see shows there. I think I saw like Green Day there. Hmm. Well, there's kind of like two eras of Green Day. You have like the OG Green Day, and then you have the like, you know, American Idiot era. And I think, you know what's terrible is I don't listen to Green Day at all anymore. But at the time, I was in love with Green Day. So it's weird because it's like I know I have a favorite song, but I couldn't tell you what it is now. I feel the same way about System of a Down. I love System of a Down, and then I kind of just stopped listening to them. I was really angry for a while, and now I'm not. So it just doesn't mesh with my current vibe. Uh, but I think I always like the song. Do you have the time to listen to me? Why? Da, 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 da. Yeah. hmm uh-huh. The dramatic move. Mhm. Dad about it. Oh, we have fun. I felt like you were going to do an ad there for a second. It's spring or better news. You know what comes to spring? Allergies. So be sure to type in code Drew when you buy your allergy medication. We did have, it was barely snow. It was ice. We had ice. Don't give them that satisfaction. It's an ice storm. And then they go out and there's ice on the trees and like it snowed and you're like, what? No, this is way worse than snow. hmm Yes, yes. We couldn't fly anywhere. It was crazy. It was really annoying. Oh, we're moving. We're going on an adventure to a different part of Drew's place. Where could we be going? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of hallways in your house. Woo woo. I live in West Campus. That's it's right next to the University of Texas campus. It's amazing. It's like maybe the best choice I ever made. I get to walk on the UT campus all the time. I pretend I'm a student. Uh, I have a gym membership at the UT campus. It's pretty sweet. It's beautiful. I lived in San Diego for a year, and I always describe Austin as like San Diego, but without the ocean, which doesn't sound appealing, honestly. But San Diego is really cool, even if you take the ocean away. No, but I have driven in the traffic, and uh, um, I've been like to like little parts of like South by Southwest when they do it, like little offshoot shows, and they have a lot of cool stuff happening here. It's pretty dope. It's a cool city. Everyone's like young and like an artist or a tech person, so it's kind of interesting. Everybody likes the band Fun. You know, that's the most interesting thing about Fun to me, because I had actually talked about this band with someone else recently. And you know that they're not a band, they're just a bunch of musicians that came together to make that album. They all have other projects that they normally do. And they, I guess they're buds, and they were like, let's do this. And that's why they didn't keep putting out albums. It was just a one off thing. Exactly. Yeah. And he's pretty successful. Hmm. 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 I love that song. It's so good. Their voices are so cool together. Hmm. Jason Derulo. I did. Well, oh, of course. Who doesn't go to the Westminster Wawa? Also, they didn't build that Wawa until like maybe the year before I went to college. So it was like a big deal when it came in. I love a good hoagie. Uh, Honestly, out of all the what do they call it? They call it pay to order, or no, order. There's like a special word for like gas stations that have food there. Um, Sheets is also good, but I think out of all of those, Wawa's the best. Actually, Royal Farms is also good, but I definitely think Wawa's the best. You were like, not Royal Farms. It's pretty decent. Also, the Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker, is the official spokesperson of Royal Farms. So Yeah, he does all their commercials. Oh yeah, he's like amazing. I think he has still holds the record. And also he went to University of Texas. So if I ever do any like jokes about football, I always throw in Justin Tucker's name and people always get it. You make the best faces. Oh yeah, everyone likes it. The allergies are bad. People complain about that. And I will say it's my least favorite thing is the bugs. The bugs are very aggressive and not like being around them, but like the kind that bite you, like bug bites. And I have that kind of blood that they like. I get bitten up pretty. I have like all the bug bite. I have like Benadryl, it's just around in case I get bitten up like all the time. It's beautiful, like from the fall to like right now, there's no bug problems. But in about a month, I'm going to be covered in bites and I'm going to be really upset. It's only like every 17 years. I think it's 17. It's a really long like gap. I want to say 17. I don't want to, because I never experienced them until I was a teenager. There were no cicadas until I was a teenager. Let me look it up. I'm going to find out. What kind of bug issues do they have in Pennsylvania? They don't get the cicadas in Pennsylvania? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I got Lyme's disease. It's a bummer. Well, it's just also like I was out having a nice day in nature, and then you find out later that a tick bit you and you didn't notice. And you're like, why am I sick? But yeah, Austin's dope. I like it. You should visit. It's cool. There's the comedy scene is booming right now. So many comics are moving here. Joe Rogan's going to open his club this summer, apparently. No, I never watched Fear Factor. I'm really lame. I don't like anything like, I don't do bugs, eating bugs, be in a box with snakes, you know, that's not me. Only you. Oh yeah, Spider-Man, Spiderverse. Would you say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is your favorite of all the Spider-Man movies you've seen? Or really? Like the first one out of all three, or just in general, the whole like trinity of Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans? The first one. Yeah, it's really good. They did it right. They kind of nailed it. Uh-huh. It was scary. They had they did a good job of using the colors that are light and like upbeat that Spider-Man does, but also making the villains legitimately scary. Yeah. Hmm. No. Uh-huh. I felt that way as well. It was well, obviously you have the advantage of it being a cartoon. You can do more things, especially with to make it funny. But I thought the noir Spider-Man, the Nick Cage one, maybe the funniest thing that's ever been done ever. Period. I just because every time he like had his whole character is just funny. And like, of course, you have Mulaney as the pig Spider-Man, which is, I mean, Mulaney's gonna be funny, but the noir one like caught me off guard. I was like, what? Also, Nick Cage is kind of just funny in general. Like his existence, it's so weird. Gwen Stacy, yeah, she's cool. I liked her hair. She had that cool whoopy, short, long thing going on. Uh, I know. I'm so excited. My brother sent me the ad for it like last summer. I don't know how he knew about it so early. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, it's a Nick Cage movie, but he's playing Nick Cage. Also, it looks just silly and stuff. And I don't know. I have a weird feeling. I've always kind of like love hate Nicolas Cage. Like I love him, but also there's so many characters that he plays. And I'm just like, who is this idiot? Uh, and also he's just so he's such an interesting person for them to choose to make a leading man in so many movies because I don't think he's very like conventionally attractive. I think he's got kind of a dopey face. Uh, oh yes. Hmm. Hmm. He is the my favorite movie of his is The Family Man. Is that what it's called? The one where he switches places into his, you know what I'm talking about? Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Hmm. The new one. I've been debating on watching it because it's like I kind of watched a little bit of the Wonder Years as a kid, like the OG one, and I'm like, am I just we're gonna rewatch a whole show just with the new actors? But I'm sure it's got to be a different storylines that are happening. Mm. Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, certainly an African American family in the 60s or 70s would be going through different things than a white family in the 60s and 70s. Storyline has to be a little different. Uh-huh. Oh, cool. I'm not currently working on any spec scripts. I have a few things that I'm working on for myself, script wise, but nothing like from a other show. Because they want you to do spec scripts off of like shows that are currently airing. I don't like a lot of the comedy that's out right now. The only comedic like shows that I really dig right now are I always like Rick and Morty, and I like the Karate Kid show. What's it called? Cobra Kai. I think that's so funny. Yeah. Uh-huh. Is that the one where they go to Japan? Okay. Oh, it's when that guy comes to town, the guy with the ponytail. Yeah, I've seen it. Hmm. Yeah. It's also just funny to think about like how could anyone care this much about karate? But I guess like I get it. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, they did a good job. And the first one's like a classic. People that'll be kids will watch that forever. Wait, how do we get to Karate Kid? We were talking about Into the Spider-Verse. Okay, so you said your favorite was Tobey Maguire, the first one, but this one is the best. I agree. I think this one is probably the best Spider-Man movie they've ever made. Although my favorite might be the new Spider-Man No Way Home that just came out over Christmas. I I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think he's maybe the best actor we had as a Spider-Man in a long time because I always felt like Toby was a really good Peter Parker and not as good of a Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield was a really bad Peter Parker and like a better Spider-Man. And I feel like Tom has a nice balance. Like he's pretty good at both. Because they're different characters. You know, if you read or if you grew up watching the animation, they're very different personalities. But it's nuanced. It's not like Batman and Bruce Wayne, because Batman and Bruce Wayne are so very different. But Spider-Man is like kind of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, but they are still different characters. I have a lot of opinions on Spider-Man. I get really passionate. Oh. Oh, they should do that. Everything's better animation. Hmm. 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 A coding journal? No, I have no clue. How do you do a coding journal? What does that mean, I guess, is my question. Okay. Uh-huh. Do I want to do more Cher? It's just me singing Cher songs, really. I can't. It's not like I could talk like Cher. Just I don't really do good voices, honestly. Um, I mostly all my voices are just of other comedians I'm friends with and me imitating their sets and them being like, "That's not how I sound," and I'm like, "Well, that's how you sound to me." Also, it's hard. I always find it's easier to imitate women as a woman, and there's fewer women people to imitate. Like, I mean, there's definitely more women in media now, but traditionally, uh-huh. Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's dope. There's so much more room. It's very cool. Oh, she's really funny. Yeah, I've seen her a bunch of times. I don't know if she lives in LA, but she was there a lot. Michelle who? No. Mhm. Oh, cool. Okay. Write that down too. Have my notes over here. Oh wow. Who's you've met a lot of comics. Who's your favorite person that you've met? Uh-huh. I guess well, say favorite, you mean like that could mean like who do you look up to the most or who do you like the most? Maybe who's the funniest? I don't know, whatever you interpret favorite as. Oh my god, I've met Maria Bamford. She's really cool. She's so good. She's great. Mhm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. She's amazing. She would when she would come to LA, she would and be running stuff in LA, she would rent out like there was this small theater, I can't remember what it's called, but it's just like a box theater. And she would post about it and people would come. But if there were comics in the audience, she would ask if there was any young comics who wanted to open the show and she would just invite them up to do a spot up top. It was very cool. And also it was cool like as a young comic just to see her, work out new stuff and not like on the road, like in like a kind of more intimate style. I haven't seen her in Austin. No, not yet. I'm sure she will. I mean, people tour here. There's a theater downtown. So, um, like, I think Whitney Cummings was here this past weekend. She's great. Uh, John Mulaney was here like a couple weeks ago doing like a stadium or like a theater. I don't know, someplace I didn't know about, but I had friends who went to see him. And then there's like, people who come and tour the clubs. So you get a lot of cool comics come through. Oh yeah. What is Spider-Man? I like that his. Oh wait, are we allowed to do spoilers? I don't want to ruin it for someone who hasn't seen the movie. Spoiler alert. Okay. Well, just if anyone does hasn't seen the movie and wanted to, and you're this far in. But I thought that the fact that his uncle is the one of the bad guys is like maybe the best part of the movie. Yeah, exactly. I like it because it makes like the villains a very it's very human, you know, like he's down on his luck. He has to make he's not he got into the wrong scene and you know like he owes people money kind of vibe it sounded like he owed kingpin stuff, so you're kind of like indebted to these. I mean that's what it's like getting into crime. It's not like people like I mean I'm sure some people seek it out, but I think a lot of people just end up you know doing stuff and then you know you just get buried deeper and deeper like trying to fix your the bad things you already did with more bad things. And so I thought that was kind of cool because we like him. And then you're like, I like a villain that you like. You know, like, oh wow, I didn't know. I don't know how to feel. Hmm. Hmm. No, yeah. No, I like him. I also like that he's kind of a bad Spider-Man. Like he's not good at it immediately, and all the other Spider-Men are sort of like on his butt about it. They're like, oh, he's not there yet. He hasn't learned it yet. He doesn't get it. I like that. I like a flawed character. Hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah. The what movie? I don't know if I've seen that. What is it? Oh, the Lego movie. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying leather movie. And I was like, what's the leather movie? But yeah, I love the Lego movie. They really killed that. That was great. Uh, did you like the Lego Batman movie as well? The soundtrack. Yeah. Mhm. It's really good. And the way that they constantly, every time they introduced a character with the like the comic book, like here we go again, and then they do the this origin story for each. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. You're kind of a big deal. Yeah. I have not. Yeah. What's it about? Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. No. Okay. Who's your baseball team? The Phillies. Uh-huh. Yeah. Don't know. I don't. I'm not that into baseball, so I'm not up on all that. Go to a Ranger game. Okay, that's the okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I love libraries. Do you have the Libby app on your phone? Yeah. Oh, I love Libby because I can get all my stuff from the library through there, and I don't even have to go, which is kind of sad. Not going to the library, but it's convenient. Yes. Homework. Ranger game. Okay. That's awesome. You should do it too. Yeah. I mean, it should be pretty easy. It happens. Maybe. Oh yeah, that's true. They can run out of electricity. It's true. Um, Closing regards. Yes, I definitely think it's the best out of all the Spider-Mans, even though we both agree it's not our favorite. But it's honestly maybe the funniest and the most interesting storyline. I'm looking forward to the new one. There's another one coming out. And it's going to be a two-part movie, so they're going to drag it out. Yeah. hmm Does he? That's amazing. I didn't even realize that. Good on the rock. Really? Oh, I don't think it was the rock. I just looked it up. It's Brian Tyree Henry, who was in did you see what was it called? I guess I could pull up his thing and I'll find it. That movie with the Eternals. He was in the Eternals. Yeah, he was the guy who did all the tech stuff. And he's also in what's that show that everyone watches? Atlanta. That's it. Yeah. Oh, you got to see the Eternals. It's really good. Mhm. For me, it's up there with for me, the best last year was Shang-Chi. Well, also Spider-Man, Oh No Way Home came out last year, so that was actually really good. I really love Marvel, so it's hard for me to choose. But Shang-Chi is amazing. If you haven't seen that one, you got to watch that. I'm saying it wrong too. It's like Shang-Chi. My terrible Maryland accent. Shang. I want to make everything a hard A. Oh yeah. Mhm. Mm, yeah. Well, there's a little bit of a difference, but yeah, I see what you're saying. I think accents probably bother people more than colloquial, like the words that people use. I don't know why. People notice accents pretty often. Washington, Baltimore, because everyone I who's not from there goes Baltimore, and it's like no, that's a D. It's Baltimore or Baltimore if you're like really into it. I took voice lessons growing up. I was a singer, and I remember it was always I always got yelled at for having a very Baltimore accent. I'm like, I grew up in Carroll County, and they're like, Carroll County's worse. All my O's are like, ew. That's my favorite thing about going home. Because we always went to Orioles games growing up. There's some baseball for you. And when the Orioles do like Osake, the national anthem, the last one we go, oh, like for the Baltimore O's. See, I can't even say it right. I keep going, oh, O's, O's. The O is the most tricky one. Yep. Energized Clay is very funny. Uh, yeah, dude, that guy has like such a following. It's interesting. He was just in Austin like a couple months ago, and it's like, wow, he's still got like people he sells out. It's still so many people will come to see like that hickory dickory dock. And his opener, well, he always travels with Eleanor Kerrigan. Have you ever seen her? She's really funny. But she's from Philadelphia. Yeah. No, I know. I like her. Hmm. Hmm. They're both great. It was a good show. Hmm. It's pretty funny. I've watched a lot of it. Mitchell and the Machines. I've seen Meet the Robinsons, but I've never seen that. I'll have to look it up. It's on Netflix. Oh, cool. Dope. Mitchell and the Machines. Always need something new. Thank you for having me. This was fun.